I know what I'm about to talk about is a very complex situation when it comes to black people. Because there's so many people that has been dedicated to the Democratic Party for a very long time. I myself grew up with nothing but Democrats around me. My grandmother, my grandfather, my mom, my dad, me a few years back. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm a Republican. It doesn't mean that I believe in the Republican establishment. It only means that I believe that Democrats had a lot to do with black poverty. And the reason why I say that is because way before welfare, black people handled their business. Black people tilled their own land, owned their own houses, ran their own businesses. We made it without welfare. We did not need public housing. We took care of ourselves because we had no choice but to do so. And in that case, I believe that things were better for black people when they was forced to take care of themselves. Because when you only have your hands, your skills, in order to survive, and you have no choice, you're going to survive. And black people did it without welfare. It seems to me, as I do my studying, as I go back, then I realize that when we became Democrats, it seems like we started to fall down that ladder when it comes to self-sufficiency. I believe that when the Democrats started giving us things, holding our hands, I believe that's when our downfall started to happen. Now, I was naive and blind just like any other black person when it came to the Democratic Party because we voted because of race. We voted because we felt that the Democratic Party was more for the black people. So we wasn't voting economically. We was voting racially. And I think that came back to bite us. Because instead of us remaining to be self-sufficient, we started to believe in the Democrats. We'll give you fair housing. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. We'll give you this. Thus becoming self-reliant on the government. And I believe that it was a mistake that black people in America would ever trust any American, Democrat or Republican. That's how I feel. I really want some input on this one because I know that the majority of black people are Democrats, and I really never understood the Christianity connection when Democrats vote for the killing of children but call themselves Christian. I never understood that. And what really made me fall back from a Democratic Party is when I seen the connection between Margaret Thatcher and Nancy Pelosi, which is one of the leaders in the Democratic Party. Once I seen that she had a relationship with this woman that set up all these clinics to kill black babies in urban communities, which is called Planned Parenthood. When I seen the connection between the Democratic Party and Margaret Thatcher, I was done. I was just simply done. And like I say, I'm not a Republican, never voted Republican, never will vote Republican. I'll vote for an independent party. But I think we need to redirect our energy into another party and develop our own party, because rolling with the Democrats right now has not been a good thing. As you see, President Obama could not even address black people. And the thing is, we need to become self-reliant anyway. We need to learn how to rely on each other, and we need to rely on our own capabilities, education, and skills. And I believe that once we're forced to do that, we will have no choice but to do better. I think that welfare was nothing but a bad Band-Aid when it came to the black community. I don't think it was a very good move. And as I really think about it, it could have been a bamboozle move, because America knew that we would not follow the Republicans because they became racial. And a lot of people don't know that the Republicans were the party that we chose way back in the early, I think it was the 50s or 40s, something like that. It came a time when back in the 50s and 40s, if I'm not mistaken, the Democratic Party was the racial party. The Democrats was the party that did not like black people. But for some reason, it changed. And the Democratic Party became the party for black people. And I'm thinking that maybe that was a trick the whole time. Maybe they was tricking black people. Well, if we just act like we're for them, we'll get their votes, when we know that we're not operating in their best interests. Because if they was operating in our best interests, they wouldn't just simply try to give us things. See, and the thing is, when they give us things, a lot of people don't want to strive beyond that. They give us welfare, low housing, and that's where we seem to stay. There's no really incentives to really want to just go beyond that unless we take it upon ourselves, which I think is very important for us to do. Even though we're giving the things that we're giving, we should turn around and turn that around and get off of welfare and do what we got to do. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking on Black People Pacific because I know for a fact that there are more white people on welfare than black people. And I'm very aware that we are not the only ones on welfare, and we're not the only ones that's sucking up the system right now. Only thing I'm talking about is the fact that I feel that the Democratic Party is the reason why black people are in poverty right to this day. That's why I honestly believe, when I go back and really look at everything and how we took care of ourselves before welfare and how we was living before welfare, and we had businesses and we had all these things that we had before we started relying on the government. I'm focused on that. I'm focused on the state of Black America before welfare, and I'm looking at it in the middle of welfare. It haven't been a good experience. I think we should have left it alone and kept on being self-sufficient. That's what I feel. You let me know what you feel, because it's a very complex situation. So I explained to you how I feel. You tell me, are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? Do you believe in the Democrats? Do you believe what I just said wasn't right? Do you believe it was right? Do you believe that the Democratic Party was most definitely the wrong move, and the policies that they implemented was nothing but mere giveaways? See, I used to be a diehard Democrat until I started reading between the lines. When I started reading between the lines and I started reading history on how we did before welfare, then I started thinking that, hey, this might have not been a good move. And as black people, I don't think we should have ever trusted a government period, from this country. I don't think we should never follow the Democratic Party or the Republicans. We should have just kept on doing what we was doing because it was working. We had Black Wall Street. We had all these things that we had going on. And it seems like soon as we turned pro-Democrat, look at the state of Black America. That's just the proof. I don't need to tell you. Just look at it. Just take a good look at it and you tell me. Because 80-something% of black people are Democrats. And I'm just saying. So let me know how you feel. Give me your side of the story. I really need your input. Doesn't matter what it is. I just want to know what you feel. Do you feel that the Democratic Party is the reason why black people are in poverty and the reason why the majority of us are not doing too good? And do you think we should continue with the Democratic Party? Or should we go and start our own independent party? Do you think that black people should vote for the Democrats this year, especially after Obama basically turned face on us? Because I believe that black people are just a pawn in the Democratic Party now. We really just there to help them win and we don't get nothing out of it. And I think that's time for it to stop. And I hope that black people really take time to think when the 2016 elections come in. We might need to rethink our strategy. And we might need to get away from this Democratic Party and start our own independent party. What do you think? I'm anticipating your answer and I'm waiting for your comments so I can read through them and see what is on the mind of my beautiful black people. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, one love.